My name's Audrey Wells. I am 20 years old and I go to Hope College in Holland, Michigan. My dad's a pastor and then my mom's a speech therapist, and she was adopted, and I've grown up knowing that, and also grown up knowing that our family always talked about like we were gonna adopt someday. And then when I was in third grade, my parents started having the conversation of like, is someday gonna happen? And if it is, why not today? And so we started the adoption process for my younger sister, Mei Lin, in like 2012, 2013, and she came home from China. And then we started sponsoring Christiana. I, as a probably fifth grader at the time, felt very convicted and convinced that Christiana was meant to be a part of our family. And so I would say to my parents over and over again, like, she needs to come home to us, she needs to come home to us. And so every night my parents would come, tuck me into bed, and I would say, please, like, help us be able to bring Christiana home. And then I didn't know this, but a month into me doing that every night, my parents had the conversation of like, would it be possible for that to happen? And then by so many miracles, we got her paperwork transferred from the home that she was at to be accessed by our agency that we use for Mei Lin, and then she ended up being able to come home. But my sisters both got grants from Show Hope to be able to come home from China. So that has always been a big part of our family's story. And even before Christiana came home, we were traveling, visiting family in Nashville, and we stopped by the Show Hope office and we went on, they had like a swing that we went on. And so, yeah, I've kind of grown up since elementary school knowing what Show Hope was. My mom had like a Show Hope shirt, and then I got it later, so I had like my shirt. The seed was planted in my heart for me to do Pause like almost 2 years ago now. So I took a public speaking class and we were able to choose a nonprofit to represent throughout the semester, and I chose Show Hope. And so through the course of the semester, I would act as if I was an employee, giving different speeches. So I did like a persuasive speech, an informative speech, and then one of my speeches was about pause. So I was acting as if I was someone like kicking off a week of pause. And so I learned a lot about it through writing that speech and delivering it, but I had never actually done it, which kind of was like funny to me. And so I ended up talking to Bethany and Justin from Show Hope about my speeches that I'd done, and I sent them that recording in particular. And Bethany asked me, she's like, have you ever actually led Pause? Because like I gave a whole speech about it. And I was like, no. And so we kind of like started working on setting it up. And I ended up doing it with a number of friends kind of like throughout the area. So we did everything like just over the phone virtually. Especially going into the new school year, it's really cool how a lot of my friends said they didn't know like most of this information about like the orphans in the world, or like the information about trauma. That was the main thing that I learned from Pause, is like the last section about being like trauma informed. In all of their different majors, like we have an education major and someone who wants to be an OT, and all of these different majors, it's like there's still information that you can use. Maybe you're not like adopting currently in the season of your life, but even like when you're going to class thinking about like giving occupational therapy to people, or like having students in your classroom, like you're going to come face to face with people like in the foster care system, or people who have experienced that trauma, or people who have been adopted. And so being informed is so important. And I think it was just like so beautiful to be able to bring more people into that, and also kind of like encourage them in the fact that right now in this stage of our life, we can do something, and we can learn, and we can pray and ask God to change our hearts and change the hearts of people around us.